Hi, everyone. This is David, and welcome to Week 7 Live Chat. This is going to be a pretty relaxed week for you and a very interesting week for you as you construct and conduct your informational interview. Informational interviews are very interesting and very worthwhile. I've conducted them myself when searching for a job interview. Among the many benefits of these informational interviews, one of the most clear benefit is simply you becoming used to doing the kind of preparation work and then actually participating in an interview. Doing that practice gives you confidence as well as skill. And then, of course, you also get practice in how to follow up after an informational interview, which is as important as the informational interview itself. Your second major task this week will be to think about mentorship and who would be a good mentor for you. I have a mentor in my life. His name is Bob Teufel. He was the former CEO of the company, the publishing company where I worked as an editor. And although I haven't had that position in, 15 years, Bob has remained my mentor throughout those 15 years. And we have regular contacts. I also mentor someone. I started mentoring this person when she was 18 years old, and she's now in her 30s. And so I mentored her throughout her college career, through her various adventures after college, and now in her professional career. So I believe strongly in mentorship. I think it's one of the most important relationships that you could ever have, is this mentor-mentee relationship. If you don't have one, I encourage you to get one. Okay, so that's my little introduction to the week. As usual, we'll begin by clicking on content and going down to the week in question, which is week 7, cultivating your network. Now, in this student view, basically you're being told the importance of networking. And don't let that, it almost sounds kind of cheesy, this setting up your network. Who wants to be considered part of a network? You're an individual, and you do individual type things and have your own personal agency. Really, network simply means contacts. And these are personal contacts as well as professional contacts. And sometimes a contact will be both, and that's good. And all this means is that you will be doing the very thing that everybody does once they get out of college, which is to learn that no job, no career takes place in isolation. Your career, your advancement, your personal growth, your job, it all depends upon other people, people who are close to you and distant from you. And here I'm talking in terms of proximity. It could be someone you work with or someone you don't work with, but they're all considered contacts. And in all of them, you want to apply the concept of emotional intelligence. One of the key characteristics of someone with EQ, or high emotional intelligence, is someone who is able to establish and maintain consistent relationships, whether they be personal or professional. So part of what people will see in you is whether or not you are open to establishing and maintaining these kind of relationships that we all depend upon. If you don't know this already, and I'm sure that you, Anati and Stephen, do, work is about relationships. It's about working with the other people in your job, whether it be the client or your supervisor, whether it be your coworkers or somebody new. We do not exist in a vacuum as human beings. We depend upon our relationships, and that's what this unit is all about. Now you have two basic assignments. These video resources, by the way, are excellent. They were also a part of your assignment. If you look at this assignment for in your discussion topic for professional networking, you'll see that you are actually assigned to watch these videos. Networking 101, asking someone to be your mentor, the importance of having a mentor. And so please watch those videos and decide upon who, you might want to choose two or three, who could possibly serve as a mentor. Again, this can be personal or professional. I also serve as a mentor to a niece of mine. She's not in the same professional field as I am, but I still have that kind of personal relationship as an uncle, but also as someone who serves as an advisor. So another way to get names of mentors would be to join one of the student organizations here at UMUC. They have a list of mentors. Here's another great place for mentors. Once you join Career Quest at UMUC, you will see a list of alumni who have volunteered to be mentors to UMGC students. And so Career Quest is another great place to find mentors, advisors from this particular school in your particular field. So those are two other places where you can find mentors. You're going to answer these three questions about your professional networking ability, and that is your discussion board. Your big assignment for the week, and I'm putting big here in quotation marks, is the informational interview. Now, what you want to do, as well as watching how to do it's a great video, by the way, how to do an informational interview. If you follow the steps that you're given in that video, step by step, you will conduct a successful informational interview. Now, keep in mind, there are job interviews. That's where you go in asking for a job. And there are informational interviews. And that's where you go in asking for information. You're not looking for a job. You just want to pick somebody's brain, hear about their experiences, hear about their view of that particular career. So watch this video, select 2 to 3 informational interview candidates, do some background on them. You can usually find that kind of information on LinkedIn. By the way, if you guys have not yet joined LinkedIn, I highly encourage you to do that. Your basic membership is free. Here's my mentee, by the way, Brittany Curry. She's a graphic artist, so she's on my feed. But you can set up your profile, and it's okay that you're a student and have a kind of student-oriented profile. That's absolutely fine. But I would highly encourage you to begin setting up your LinkedIn profile and start asking people to be a part of your LinkedIn network. Obviously, I have not checked my notifications in a while. So these are from the people I've networked with. And I can kind of read what they're up to, respond to it, and just kind of stay in touch with them. And yes, Stephen, being a military person is great to be on here. Anati, you're already working as a professional in your field, so you can certainly link to other healthcare people as well as friends. It's not a kind of family thing. You don't want that vibe going on, but you do want a kind of sense of connecting to people who are in the same profession as you. So you're going to gather details about that person. You can usually find them on LinkedIn. If not, just Google them. And then send them an email. And here are some templates. Here's an email informational interview request with samples. And so you just kind of follow this pattern. Those are sample messages. And I do have to see your request email too. Then you basically schedule an interview with that person. You want to prepare at least five open-ended questions. And so open-ended questions are questions that cannot be answered with a yes or no. So you would ask questions about, tell me how you became interested in this career. You're going to get a 5 or 10 minute answer there. Tell me about your typical workday, or describe your typical workday to me. What are some of the important or memorable challenges that you've had to confront and overcome in your job? If you had to describe what your job's benefit was to you and to society, how would you describe it? So make them open-ended, large questions that indicate your desire to gain insight about this job or this career choice. Okay, 20 minutes. Conduct your interview. Oh, here's some questions. Oh, here you go. Those are good questions. And then you post your interviews. Here's what you do. After your interview, summarize your notes in 2 to 3 paragraphs. You got to describe the interview, summarize it. Include the name of the interviewee, a short biography describing his or her background experiences, and then a synopsis. So you want to include at least those three things in your interview summary that you submit. And you also include your questions.